Hello and welcome to another edition of Anime Toy Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends 80 Years Wolverine Hulk 2-pack figure. This retails for around $59.99 in the US. We'll take a look at the box first and then we'll get to the figures. So it comes in the standard 80-year Marvel Legends black box with a big window on the front so you can see the two figures. On the back, you've got a little bio about Wolverine and the Hulk with a picture of the cover of the first appearance of Wolverine with some standard legal stuff on the bottom. On one side of the box, you've got some art featuring the Hulk from the comics, and on the other side, you've got some of Wolverine. And here are the figures out of their packaging, and we've got an awesome Hulk figure and a Wolverine figure not too many people are crazy about. I personally don't think the Wolverine figure is that bad, but that's just because he's built on a pretty awesome Wolverine body already. The head could be better, but it's not bad. So let's take a closer look at these figures, starting with some of the accessories they come with. The Hulk comes with a tattered, torn, white button-up shirt or lab coat of some kind. He also comes with a pair of open hands and a pair of closed fists. Wolverine comes with a pair of closed fists as well, and another pair of closed fists, except this time with his claws extended. Standing in at over 8 feet 6 inches and weighing in at 963 pounds, we have the mean green gamma machine, the Hulk, and at over 5 feet 7 inches and weighing around 150 pounds, that's 50 pounds less than what he should be. We have the yellow clawed cat face Wolverine. So let's go over the articulations starting with the head. So let's start out with the Hulk. The Hulk can look down about this far, which looks like this from the side. And he can look up about this far, which is okay. This is what it looks like from the side. He's got good range of tilt to the left and the right on his sides, and he can rotate his head like a crazy person on that double ball joint. Wolverine's got great range tilting his head down, and he's got pretty good range tilting his head up, which allows for him to look forward if you crunch him at the ab. And he too can spin his head like a madman on that ball joint. He has an ab crunch that doesn't have much range bending backwards, but excellent range if you bend him forwards. The Hulk has a diaphragm joint that allows him to have better range than Wolverine moving backwards and forwards. That diaphragm joint also allows the Hulk to do something that Wolverine can't, which is this. His waist cut allows him to spin up like a crazy helicopter. Wolverine has that as well. Wolverine's belt is not attached to his body, so it allows him to shimmy it up and down and reposition it depending on how you pose him. And his little shoulder pads are ported in with little plugs on the front and back, which allow you to move them out of the way if you need to for posing purposes. Or you can remove them for whatever reason, I don't know. Wolverine's got butterfly joints that allow him to flex pretty well forward and pretty far backwards, so excellent there. The Hulk's got butterfly joints as well, although his can only go backwards, but they have a great range of motion going back. Both of these figures suffer from an inability to lift their hands out to the side, so they can't go parallel to the ground, although the Hulk seems to have a little bit more range of motion. My Wolverine seems to have a little bit more range of motion in his right arm going out than his left. I've tried forcing it, but the left just wouldn't go up, so there you go. Wolverine's got rotation at the shoulder, the upper bicep, and at the wrist. The Hulk can rotate at his shoulder, at the upper bicep cut, and along the edge of his wrist. He's got a single jointed elbow that allows him to bend his arm about this much, not quite 90 degrees, but pretty good. And he can also bend his arm. Wolverine's got a double jointed elbow that allows him to bend about 90 degrees. He can't go any further due to his massive upper arm. And he's also got articulation at the wrist, which allows him to bend his hand up and down as well. So going over the lower portion of Wolverine, he can do the splits out about that far, which is pretty good. Let's see, he can kick out straight about pretty far, pretty much all the way. And if you kind of tilt this funny looking bone portion forward, he can kick back pretty far. He's got a upper thigh cut, so you can rotate that. And he's got double jointed knees, which allow him to bend back okay. It's pretty good range. And he's also got a cut inside the boot that allows him to rotate that as well. His feet can kick up about that high and kick back all the way. And he also has ankle pivot. Now going over the Hulk's bottom articulation, his leg can kick out about that far. My legs are a little loose. He can kick out forward about that far, not very far. And his leg doesn't really want to go back, I guess. It only goes back about that far. He's got an upper thigh cut as well, so you can rotate that. He's got double jointed knees, but really big legs. Let's see if he can bend them. It's pretty good range for a huge leg. And his feet can go back pretty far and forward a little bit, not much. And he does have ankle pivot. Pretty good range. As well as peg holes at the bottom. Now let's take a look at how this figure scales to some of these other figures. Here we have the Marvel Select Abomination. I think these two scale pretty well. I always felt the Abomination's slightly bigger than the Hulk, so I actually think this scales pretty well with the Marvel Select Abomination, although he doesn't have the greatest upper articulation. He just kind of stands there. And here we have him up against the Marvel Select Juggernaut, who is bigger, but I feel like he should be much bigger. I think him and the Abomination, the Marvel Select Abomination, should have their height swapped. I think the Abomination should just be slightly a little shorter, and Jug should be the Abomination's height. Here we have him up against the Marvel Legends Hercules from the Endgame Thanos Build-A-Figure. And here he is up against Beta Ray Bill from the Professor Hulk Endgame Wave. And here he is compared to the Fantastic Four Marvel Legends Thing, which I think scales pretty well. And another big figure here is the Marvel Select Thanos, which these scale pretty well. And here he is up against the Marvel Select Colossus, which these guys are roughly around the same height, so that's pretty good. And just for a little fun comparison, here we have this comic Hulk compared to the Age of Ultron Marvel Select Hulk. And here we have Wolverine compared to some of the other Marvel Legends X-Men figures. We have Bishop and Shadowcat, X-23 in her X-Force outfit, and that's a Marvel Select Colossus in the background. But you can see how he scales. So he's short and stubby as he's supposed to be. So thanks for checking out my review on the Hasbro Marvel Legends 80-year Wolverine and Hulk figure. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, please give me a like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more content, more reviews, and even some animations. Thanks. I'll see you guys later.